Hey, Health Watchers. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about my adventures in intermittent fasting. For the last 2 months, I have been doing a ton of experimenting with different forms of intermittent fasting. And I just wanted to report what I felt, what my results were, some of the things that I did. I had actually done a lot of 18-6 intermittent fasting. I actually do really, really well with that. And for me, that looks like I get up in the morning, I have my keto coffee, usually 2 of those, and have some chicken, and I'm pretty much done by noon. So if I start at 6 o'clock, I am done by noon. So that gives me a 6-hour window, and then I don't eat anything the rest of the day. I feel really, really good doing that. Now, that being said, I had kind of been on a bit of a plateau, wanted to do changing shape, things of that nature, drop a couple of pounds of fat. I had gone to Las Vegas towards the end of August, and anywhere I go somewhere hot, I usually pack on about 10 pounds of water weight, especially when I'm sitting and doing nothing. My eating patterns change a little bit when I'm away. I expect that. That is just how my body responds. So I came back and I decided to do OMAD. Now, OMAD is 1 meal a day. And so I started off doing every other day, ended up extending it out to 3 days, and then having a refeed day. Now, what I did with that, with OMAD, the first week I was pretty strict keto. I had my coffee. That was it. That was all I was taking in. So I would have my coffee, not eat anything. First day, yeah, kind of start getting pretty hungry later on in the evening. By next morning, it was no big deal. Felt really good. Started extending it out to 3 days. Day 3, started to feel pretty dang hungry. More of a psychological hunger. But honestly, I was really looking forward to like the meals that I was going to have the next day. So I started dropping, that water weight just came off so fast. It was like the first week that was gone. Started hitting into some fat stores. I dropped within, I think 2 weeks, I think I dropped about 15 pounds or so. So that was pretty cool. So then I started experimenting. Well, what would happen if I did, because there's a lot of intermittent fasting groups out there that do not follow a ketogenic lifestyle. So I thought, gee, I've been in ketosis for so long. What would happen if I ate me some carbs? And let's see how my body responds when you do a fasting window and eat carbs. So what I did was, I did not limit myself on my refeed days. I literally ate whatever I felt like eating. So for me, maybe a little bit of candy, some chips. I couldn't eat a lot, like, what I used to back in the day when I was a massive binge eater. But what I did notice is that I was ravenously hungry. Like I had such head hunger, such psychological hunger, that I was just like, hey, what else can I eat? What else could I eat? What else could I eat? Did not like that feeling because it really reminded me of the days when I used to punish myself with food. So was not a good protocol for me. Now, for somebody else, that might work. Kept doing 3 days of OMAD and then having a day, even 2 days of, hey, I can eat whatever the heck I want. It was fun. I do have to say that, being able to eat chips and candy and stuff that I seriously haven't really touched hardly at all for the past 3 years. It was fun. At the same time, it was just kind of like, I was pretty judicious though. I mean, it was like if I really had to want it. It wasn't just something that was just laying around or hey, it's candy, I'm going to eat it. I mean, it was like no, I really wanted to make it something that I wanted. That being said, I did that for about a month and I honestly felt like shit. Just laying it out there. I did not feel good. My fasting days, I would get really hungry, especially on day 2. It was like hard, really hard to do an OMAD, 1 meal a day. All I could think about was food. And then having those carb up days really sucked because the water weight would just pile right back on. So any gains that I saw from not eating for those 3 days, I lost it with the water weight. It would completely wash out anything that I had done. The other thing though with that is that it can be used, for me anyway, as a really good strategy for feasting, holidays, those kind of things. So we've got, you know, Halloween, we've got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas coming up, we've got New Year's, all of these major feasting holidays where it's just like, hey, we're going to be around a lot of food, we're going to be around a lot of family, that kind of thing. And you want to eat and you want to enjoy yourself. And there's seriously nothing wrong with that. You should be able to enjoy yourself. So this can be a strategy that you employ. I would highly recommend that you get used to doing some longer fast windows first. Definitely be in a ketogenic range first. Have your feast day, and I would only recommend 1 day, 1.5 days tops of doing that. So say if it's like Christmas Eve, you have your big Christmas Eve dinner or something like that, and you have a lot of snacks, stuff like that. Christmas Day, you're snacking, cookies, candy, all that kind of stuff. Have your big dinner and then be done by the next day, and then implement a 2 to 3 day clearing fast where you clear that out of your system. Number one, what will happen is you won't gain weight. You just won't. I mean, you might gain some water weight, but it's not going to be fat. The other thing too is that you get yourself right back on track. You have that ability where you really enjoyed the holiday, you really enjoyed the meal. You also get the ability to see exactly, you know, how food has changed for you. That, you know, normally you would have been able to eat, and now you're just like, oh no, I just don't feel good eating that much food. You'll also be able to see how your body responds to that big of a fast feast type of a schedule. But with the holidays coming up, this might be a very effective strategy for you to put into place if you don't want to just be pretty much eating for the next 3 months and pile on an extra 20 pounds like normal people do. But for me, you know, doing the fast and then carb up day, total suck value. It did not work for my body. I felt like garbage. I don't really ever want to do that again. My workout suffered, my brain suffered, everything about it with reintroducing those carbs back in just did not work for me. The one interesting thing though was that my blood sugars stayed really level and low. Like if I did have a high carb day, you know, I might bump up, you know, 100, you know, if I did a blood poke, I might bump up into 100, but by the afternoon it was already back down into like the 60s and 70s. So I had this super good blood sugar control. In the past, I never could get down below 100 when I very first started. I really had, you know, this blood sugar level where I'd stay right about there. I never could get out of ketosis. Just couldn't. Even 2-3 days of like serious carb binge eating, I was still in pretty high ketosis. So that showed me that my body was very well fat adapted, which that made me actually really happy. So it was an interesting experiment. Again, it's your body. You have the choice. Make the experiment work for you. See what works for you, because there's a lot of strategies that you can employ where you can actually have those wonderful feast days. and enjoy feeling lean on top of it. All right? Happy trails. I'll talk to you later. Bye.